Hello adventure riders from around the world. As I promised last time, I'm gonna make this short video about motorcycle trip around New Zealand in the winter. So in the next few minutes I'm gonna share everything I have learned in the last month riding around the winter conditions in New Zealand. So if you have enough time, keep watching. Alright, because I don't want to forget anything, I have a list with me because I have no chance to edit this video, so that's why I have this list, so I won't forget what I want to talk about. Okay, the first question is, why in the winter? Why the hell I came in the winter if everybody knows that in the summer it's much better? Well, there is a simple reason. First of all, I really wanted to go to Australia and to see the outback. But if I come here in the summer, and I always want to combine Australia and New Zealand with the same trip, because it's very logical. If you come to Australia, you'll see New Zealand. If you come to New Zealand, you'll see Australia. And because I really wanted to see the outback, and if I come here in the summer, in the outback is going to be like 50 degrees, and that's why I prefer to come here in the winter, to risk to have a winter trip but still be able to see the outback in Australia. So this was the main reason for me to come here now in the winter. But for many of you guys will be another one very serious reason and very obvious reason, because the summer here means winter in Europe or whatever you are from, maybe it's North America or whatever, like Northern Hemisphere. But not many people are able to take this break, like 2, 3, 4 weeks holiday in the winter, because they need to work. Most of the time holidays are planned in the summer, like July, August, or some of these months. And if you plan to come July or August here, you will finish exactly like me in the winter. That's why I believe that this video might provide information for someone who eventually will decide to come here and ride in the winter. Okay, this was the first question, why? So the second point I want to mention is more time. You definitely need to plan more time when you decide to come to New Zealand, because the roads here are different. Even you can read it everywhere around New Zealand. When you're riding, you can read this big signboard saying like, New Zealand roads are different, plan more time. I absolutely fully 100% agree with this, because there are so many interesting and nice roads to see, and there is no highways here. The road, they call it highway, like highway number 1, highway number 2, 6 or whatever. It's just a double lane road. They have maybe 1 or 2 real motorway with 2 lanes in one side, 2 lanes on another, separated between, but they're just few small short sections. So most of the time you're riding in double lane road with a lot of twisties and a lot of beautiful scenes around, and you can't really ride fast because you'll see nothing at the end. So you really need more time. So plan more time. If you think like me that you'll come for 2 or 3 weeks and see everything, no, you will finish with some of the days with a lot of riding just to be able to finish on time. And thanks to all of the people from New Zealand, and especially for my host and my cameraman Jan at the moment, I was able to see as more as possible for just a short period of time. But and also you have to keep in mind that I was extremely lucky, because on these 3 weeks and more I've got only 1 raining day. But you can finish with 2 or maybe 3 weeks only rain, and if it's rain you will see even less. So that's why you need to plan a more time. And it is the same, it's valid the same to the summer, yeah, because even in the summer you can face a lot of rain, so you need more time. All right, the next question is, what bike? So I have spoken a lot about bikes and weights and everything in my channel in the last few years, but anyway, I'm gonna say it again, even that's for some of you it's already up to here. Light bike is always better, because the weight always matter. And when I'm saying that, I seriously think about it, because first of all, with a heavy big motorcycle here, you might face some really difficult conditions, especially around the winter. In many of the roads, they split this ice grid because of the snow and ice, and after that it's left on the road, and if you have a heavy bike, it will be much difficult to control it. In many places you will face construction works with gravel roads, muddy roads in some places, especially if you want to make something like to go and ride on the sand and stuff like that. It will be much more difficult if you have a heavy bike. And I'm telling you this from my personal experience for many years. But even so, here last week I was sitting on one very nice sand dune on the top and making videos, and then I saw how beautiful is the beach, and it was like a flat road going into the beach, and beach was very nice, and I said, oh, I'll go with a ride with a bike as usual, as I do. So I started the bike, went to that beach, and just before I go exactly on the beach where the ocean is, I went into a very deep sand with a very stiff edge at the end. So I have to stop here at the end because I can't jump on the sand. And when I stop here, I stuck. And when I tried to move, I stuck even more. And the road was so narrow and so deep sand that it took me like 25 minutes just to dig out the bike. I don't want to twist it. I don't want to risk to burn the clutch or something like that. So I just move it very slowly, forward, backward, push it, and after 20 minutes I take it out and I brought it back to the road. But I was totally exhausted because I am an idiot. I am an idiot just trying to go to do something I cannot. So sometimes we believe that we can do everything. No, we cannot. You can't do everything, and lighter the bike it is, better you will be. In that scenario, if I've got a heavy bike, like 250 kilos, I have no chance to dig it out and push it back on the road. So I need to stop people, shame or not, and ask them to come and help me because I'm just idiot. Anyway, this is for the heavy bike. And another one topic to consider if you have a big powerful bike are the speed limits. So I learned it again the hard way. I was fined only once, but the fine was $170 and it was for 22 kilometers over speeding. I was riding in one of the small towns, just one street. I did not even think that I have to slow down, but anyway, I was riding with 70 on possible 50. And police car was driving in front of me, and they've got the cameras in the car, so you don't need to expect policemen sitting on next to the road with radar. No, even if you see police car, they're already checking your speed. So they stopped me, pulled me over, and 22 kilometers over the speed cost me $170 New Zealand dollars, which is like 90 euros all just for this, for speeding. So if you have a big and powerful motorcycle, it's more likely you're gonna speed more, and it's not gonna give you better experience. You're not gonna have a better view or whatever because you'll ride fast, you'll need to concentrate. At the end you might risk to lose even your license. All right, so for me something like 650 cc like this Yamaha, it's more than perfect. I don't need to tell you already thousands of times how useful and practical these bikes are, because they are very good compromise between road riding, street riding. Even you can afford to make some dirt roads or gravel roads, what you will possibly face if you come to ride here. So any bike bigger than this, it will be just pointless. You don't really need it. Okay, next point is tires. Okay, tires are something very important. What tires you should pick? So my opinion is that, again, it is only my opinion. You can pick whatever you like, but my opinion and my experience telling me that you should have as better as possible tires. And what is mean better tires? Because any tire is better for the certain conditions. But my opinion is that you should have something like 50-60 or maybe 40-60% more like dirt and road orientated. I don't think that to have a perfect road tire like even something like 80-20, 80 off-road and 20 road tire is not going to be a good choice here, especially around the winter. If you come in the summer, yes, it might be, but now in the winter, because the roads are cold, most of the time they will be wet. In many places you will have this sand or ice grit everywhere. You might face even ice, as I face it on the way to Milford Sound. So you should have soft tires with a good grip, something like the tires I've got now at the moment. These are Midas 07. I already made a review about these tires. So these big gaps here will allow you to have this good grip on the gravel roads, on the muddy roads, any kind of conditions. And also because this tire is with very soft, the components is very soft. Yeah, it will finish much quicker than the usual road tires, and this is one of the minuses you're gonna face, that these tires will finish very quick. The tires I've got now, they almost finish for 6,000 kilometers. I don't think that they will have more than 2,000 on it. But to have a good tire to hold you on the road, it's critical. And who cares how much longer the tire will last if you miss a corner and made an accident and crash the bike and either injure yourself and whatever? How cheap is going to be then? So better is to pay a little bit more, but to have this nice good tire which will provide you a nice grip everywhere. I'm telling you this because the tires I started with were just a normal street tires, and the difference between these normal street tires and these tires, it's huge. It is huge. Okay, let's go to the Next point, so tires 50-50. Next point is gear. What kind of riding gear you should have here? So definitely you'll need a good full season motorcycle riding gear. You can't just come here without your gear believing that you'll go to the shop and buy something and you'll ride. First of all, there are not so many nice shops here to see. You can find motorcycle shops in big towns like Wellington, like Auckland, Christchurch, but not on the rest of the towns. The rest are just small towns and you can't find anything, especially small villages or whatever. You can't find anything. And if you don't have a proper gear, you will have a problem because it is cold. It is hard to believe when you're coming from Europe, especially now in Europe it's summer, and you're planning, oh, I'll go to New Zealand, but it's winter, but it's not that cold. It's hard to believe, and you can't even imagine. Your body is not even ready to have this, and you come in here and you realize, oh, it's cold. It's not that cold like in Europe in the winter, but it's still 5 degrees. Many of the days it's just 2-3 degrees, 8 degrees or 10 degrees. And when you have to ride 30 minutes, it's all right. But when you have to ride all day on 5 degrees, it's a problem. You realize that you need a better fall season with warm linings motorcycle gear. Waterproof is possible. Keep in mind that nothing lasts forever. Even the best gear you've got, like Revit or Climb, in some stage will leak, as my gear totally gave up, and after 3 hours I finished completely wet. So I will recommend a proper fall season motorcycle gear and rain gear as well. Rain gear have got two purposes. First is to keep you from the rain, which is obvious, but the second is to keep you from the cold weather. So you have one extra layer on the top in the cold days. Since I bought this rain gear in the last 2-3 days, I rode it only with, and even that it was dry, it was not raining that hard, or at least not the whole days, it kept me warm, and I'm really happy that I have it. And then boots. You definitely need a good motorcycle boots. I'm not gonna tell you how important the boots are, how they protect your feet from injuries. I'm gonna focus only on the warm side of the boots. With a normal, let's say, hiking boots or any kind of shoes you decided, actually the air will go underneath your pants and you will feel cold in some stage. So proper motorcycle boots with a good socks will work just perfect. Another one important point, heated grips. You can't make it without heated grips. It's something absolutely crucial and critical. You should have a proper heated grips. Whatever brand you decide, but you need to have a proper heated grips. Otherwise, you will struggling. You will need something like heated gloves, for example, if you don't have a heated grips. But heated gloves usually last around 4 hours. The batteries last around 4 hours, which is mean that you can't really ride the whole day. With heated grips, you will save a lot of problem, and they will give you the chance to travel much longer. Because, as I said, everything here is nice. You will face so many nice roads, and you will plan to ride 4 hours and you will finish with 6-7 hours. And if you don't have a heated grips, you can't make it. You have to stop every 30 minutes because you're freezing. I told you about speed limits. Okay, very important to check the road conditions. So whatever you plan to cross some of these passes, like I did Lindsay Pass, Arthur Pass, Haas Pass, or many other different passes around the country, it is always worth before that to check the weather conditions, because as I said, the winter here is different, but you might be nasty surprised in last moment to go and see that the road is closed. So it's always worth it to check the road conditions before you go on internet, or usually at the beginning of the pass there are big information signs and showing you the road is open or it's closed if you forget to check it online. And okay, again, flexibility with the route. Oh, this is something very important, and it was pointed to me from Jan. Thank you very much, Jan. Right from the beginning, he said something very important. First of all, what is your route? And I said to him the route, and he said, listen, you have to be very flexible with the route, because when the weather change, you have to use the best possible options for you. For example, he said, if you see if you plan to go on the east coast, but then you see the forecast, and the forecast said that on the west coast you're gonna have a nice sunny day, go to the west, because the next sunny day in the west might be after 2 weeks. And I was listening his advices, and on the way back from the North Island, I was planning to go straight on to the west coast, but when I checked the forecast, I saw the west coast was 3 degrees and heavy rain, and the east coast was 15 degrees and sunny. So I went to the west coast, to the east coast instead of west, and on the next day on the west coast was good, was sunny day. So you need to be very flexible with the route, so you don't need to come here with exactly the route. I'm gonna make exactly this point from this point, that kilometer, so that here will stop, or whatever they are not gonna stop. No, you have to be flexible and to use the weather and to pray to be lucky like me and have these nice sunny days every day. But I doubt that you're gonna be that lucky. All right, and the next point I'm gonna talk, it's off-road riding or dirt roads or dirt tracks, whatever you want to do. So first of all, here it's not like Australia. You can't really have these thousands of kilometers open dirt tracks and make the whole trip around the country off-road. No, you can't make it. You can find that many nice places, especially if you have a help from locals. They will tell you where to go. But something very important, again pointed from me from Jan, is that this is very possible mostly in the summer when the weather is not like this, because now when you see here it was raining, it stopped 10 minutes ago. You can see what it is mild, but it was raining all day. So all dirt roads, all dirt tracks at the moment you can ride, they will be absolutely muddy, and in many places in the high mountains it will be snow everywhere, so you can't really make it. You can try and then you might stuck. So definitely, if you plan to spend more off-road riding in New Zealand in the winter, come in the summer, otherwise it will be a problem. Or go to Australia and you will find thousands of open kilometers, a little different, but at least you will find that here most of the properties are private and you can't really cross it. You will finish with a lot of closed gates and doors because of the cows and all of these cattle stations everywhere. So it might be a problem. And now once again I want to use this video as an opportunity to say thank you once again to everyone who helped me in New Zealand. At the end of all the video episodes I will say the names and I will upload the pictures of each and every one of you guys. Now I don't have this option because I'm not gonna edit this video, but thank you very much for every one of you, and I'm so happy that I was able to come here, see New Zealand without any problems and see as more as possible. And special thanks again to Jan to provide the bike. Great man, thank you very much, and treat me like a super V person. So that's it guys. If you have any comments or any questions, just leave it down below. Me or Jan will try to reply as quicker as possible to all of your questions, and don't forget to subscribe, and see you next time. Ciao.